Hello and welcome to Quick's Paradigm. Today we're playing Hydroneer in the first episode of our Let's Play. And here we start out in our first dig site where we'll be mining for gold. And here's a little shop and a little truck. As you can see, I have objectives for this episode and they're on the left hand side of the screen. We're going to try to buy a bed, an improved shovel, a water pipe, and some buckets. So let's go ahead and get started. They do give us a shovel and a lantern to start with. We'll just take our shovel right over here and we're going to start digging right over this little bridge in this little spot of land right here. There is day and night in this game, so that's why we'll be buying the bed first once we get enough money, and that will help us sleep through the night so things aren't so dark. You can buy lanterns and lights and all that later when you have a lot more money, and working through the night is not as bad, but the first couple nights are pretty dark. So you just start with a few things. They give you a big bucket, a little bucket, a brush, and a shovel, and I'll show you how to use all of those in just a moment. And they also give you this handy dandy map, so you can see we're in the on the left hand side on the top, and that's our starting dig site. There's also a couple of stock markets where you can sell bars and jewelry. There's a jeweler that'll take everything from uncut gems, all your nuggets, or even your finished products, but usually at a reduced price. We also have the equipment store that's right there behind us, and I'll be showing you that in a minute. So we'll just drop this right here and let it hang out while we go mine some gold. So the first thing you do is you get your shovel over here, and you will notice that there is some color difference, and that's because there's areas of the map that you can't dig in. So you got to go down here and find the diggable dirt, and you'll see there's kind of a ledge there. And then you put 4 scoops of dirt in there, and then you bring that up here and you put it into your big bucket. Then you get some water, you put that in your big bucket, and you can brush it off. Oh yeah, look at that, we already have 2 little nuggets of gold. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these, and I'm going to take you up to the jeweler to show you how that works. And then we're going to buy a couple of extra buckets, because then you don't have to put things down as much. You can put the dirt in multiple small buckets with the shovel, then put the shovel down and then work through that dirt, and then you can shovel again later. So there you go. This is the jeweler. It's right there, jeweler. And we just set it on his table right here. He calculates what's in the bucket that we need, and he's going to give us 25C. We'll just take that, and we're going to put it in our bucket, because you can only carry one thing at a time. There's no inventory in this game. Pick our bucket up and take it back to the shop, and I'll show you how that works. Alright, the shop is right here by this truck. It says tools and equipment. We'll just put our bucket down right here, and you put your money in this brown bucket, and then as you put things on this platform right here, it will tell you how much it's going to cost to buy that. So that bucket is 1 cent, so we'll go ahead and buy 4 or 5 of these so that we can get started working very quickly. There we go. And I think that is all that I can get right now. So in the shop, you can buy a bed, which is going to be our first objective. That's 43C. You can buy foundation blocks. You can buy a new map if you lose yours. You can buy a construction hammer, which is very handy. There's mining helmets. There's intake pipes and various other pipes that we're going to use to pipe up our washing station in a few minutes. There's a small furnace. There's the light post. There is an anvil for you making jewelry and weapons. The crucible for actually melting down your metal. And then you pour those into a mold that gives you a bar. Then there's the blacksmithing hammer that you actually need to use to make the items. There's a fishing pole if you like to fish. And you can sell the fish in the game as an alternate means to get money. You can get a basic shovel if you lose yours. Or you can get one of the improved shovels. This will dig twice as fast, so if it took us 4 scoops with the basic shovel, the improved shovel only takes 2 scoops. So that's why we're going to try to get that today. You can also buy the tool rack that these tools are sitting in. That way you can put your own tools in it at the dig site. The pickaxe will also dig out dirt, but you don't get to keep it. You can't put it into anything. It's more for clearing an area for you to be able to get into it and work in it. And then you can buy additional lanterns. They also sell brushes, the pan buckets, and this stone grinder, which will cut your uncut gems into gemstones, and you'll need that to make your jewelry. Alright, so right now, we're going to go ahead and buy this for the 5C. Then we'll leave our money in here until we come back and get it. Now, I don't know if I can stack these in here or not. We may have to make a couple of trips. But we'll try it for science. I'm probably going to fall all over the place. Alright. That's what happens. Oh, see, I told you. Okay, so we'll just walk these back real quick and get our dig site set up. We'll still set this back over here by the water. Now I could go ahead and throw these in the truck, and then we won't have to make individual trips. You just toss these in the back, and then you can drive them over to the dig site. Now the map is kind of big as far as the shops being spread out and the different dig sites and those kinds of things. So that's why the truck comes in handy. And anytime you're going to haul, more than one thing at a time, the truck just makes more sense, so you don't have to take multiple trips on foot. Even though this is a pretty short distance, after you go back and forth 6 or 7 times, you do feel like you walked around quite a bit. So it doesn't take long to bring the little tractor over here. We'll just set our buckets over here by where we're digging. So you can see I'm picking them up with this white circle. And then if you look down at your feet, there's a little green circle, and that's going to indicate where you're going to drop the item that you have in your hand. So we'll go ahead and fill up these buckets real quick. Oh, I got one more bucket I can fill up that we used up here. And you kind of want your buckets at the tip of where your shovel is going to be, right? If you're digging here, you want your buckets right there so you don't have to move very far. That makes it a lot quicker when you're digging for the dirt. Also, you can tell that I'm not digging a wide hole. I'm trying to dig straight down, and that's because the deeper you get in the dirt, the better gems and gold and stuff you'll get out of it. You'll get bigger pieces of the items that you get from washing the dirt off. And we'll do a tips and tricks kind of test video later to show the differences about, you know, does where you stand matter? Does where the dirt come from matter? What's the difference in top versus bottom, and those kind of things. So there'll be quite a few things that we go over during the Let's Play. Some of them will be episodes as we build here in this world, and some of them will be episodes where we just try things out for fun to see if they work before we bring them over here. Look at how big that piece of iron is. That's a pretty big piece of iron. Now you can leave the stuff that you wash off. You just leave it in there, then you put your next bucket over the top, and it'll stay in there and just keep adding to it. So, give that a wash, and now you see we have some additional little nuggets in there. And this is pretty much what you do for now until we have enough money to automate some things. You just put your water in, wash it off, and rinse and repeat. Alright. I need to look at the patch notes, but I almost feel like over the updates that he's made, he has made the iron a little more common and the gold a little less common. Because used to, you'd get almost nothing but gold and very little iron, which gold's the most expensive item in the game. So if you have a very high drop rate of the gold, you're just going to make money very quickly and be able to progress. Whereas you would think in a typical situation in the real world, you know, gold would be less prevalent and the iron would be the most common resource. So I think he's doing a little balancing to make sure that everything is leveled out. So yeah, like I said, there's quite a bit of iron in there, but not quite as much gold, right? So we'll go ahead and do a little more digging, and once we have a little more saved up, we'll go sell it at the jeweler so we can start buying our items that we need for our objectives. And again, I'm just going to keep digging off the bottom here to try to improve our odds of getting better resources out of each bucket. If you like this video, please click the like button and also subscribe so you can come back and watch the rest of the videos in the Let's Play series. Like I said, we'll kind of be going over a few different things, some tips and tricks. We're going to be trying things for fun, seeing which drills are better, seeing if where you put them matter, investigating the pros and cons of some of the other lots that you can buy to dig in. And yeah, I think it'll be a good time. It'll be a lot of fun discovering things along the way. Alright, there's a little more gold. Just bring this back down here. Get another bucket. So when you're first starting the game off, it's all about trying to make things more convenient so that you can be as productive as possible. So I have in multiple buckets. You see I can just grab another bucket, come up here and wash it, and I don't have to worry about you know, dig in every single time. So that helps a little bit. So that's step one. Oh, I'm missing the bucket. That's crazy. So if you do miss the bucket with the dirt, it's no big deal. You can just pick it up and put it in there manually. The water doesn't matter if you put the water in before or after, as long as you have both water and dirt in there when you use the brush. Oh yeah, that's a nice looking bucket for our first real sell trip to the market with, you know, considerable amount of product. Filling this bucket up with nice and shiny. Alright, I think I'm going to take this first one up there and see if we can buy our bed or any of our other objectives. So we'll do a little price comparison here. We'll find a couple of nuggets that look about the same size. Maybe these two right here. Those look about the same size, right? So we'll just put the iron up here. So that piece of iron is worth 8C. Take the iron off. We'll put this gold nugget up here. Worth about 14C. So the gold is, you know, quite a bit more valuable than the iron. You know, if you add up the quantity of it and all that. But we'll put all this back in the bucket here and we'll go ahead and sell it. So 81C, that will buy us quite a few things. Go ahead and get our money. We'll probably go ahead and buy our bed so that we can sleep through the night, and I'll show you how that works. Now you can combine your money, but you need to do it on the ground here. So we'll just put that here, and this, excuse me, this on top of it right here. And it will combine into 102C. All right. So to start with, we're going to buy a bed. That'll be 43. Let's see, do we have enough money for anything else? We can probably buy our water intake valve to start with. And I can show you how that works. But I also want to buy a cork to cork the water. How much was that? Was that 15? I'm just going to buy a valve because the cork is too expensive. $101 and we have 102. All right, that's awesome. So we'll just sleep in our bed real quick before we take it over there so that it can start becoming daylight. We'll just put our bed right here on the edge of the bank. Alright, so you just take this water intake valve and you put it anywhere in the water and it will shoot out water for you. So we'll go ahead and put it right here, and now you can see the water coming out. But it does make that annoying splashing sound, so that's why we get this valve. And this valve will let us turn the water on and off as we need to prevent the water from splashing out when we're not using it. Just like that. Now you can turn the water on and off. But this step of the process is important for automating so that we don't have to use the bucket for the water. We just turn the valve on and the water comes straight into our wash pan. This is going to speed things up quite a bit. And then once we have our improved shovel, that'll kind of complete the first set of objectives for today. So now if I turn that on, or pick it up, if I turn that on, boom, it fills up our bucket. So now I can just take my little buckets down here, use the shovel to quickly fill them up. And that new shovel is going to speed this up quite a bit, having to do half as many of these trips back and forth from the dirt to the little buckets. But you can see I'm digging quite a deep hole there. And this particular land that we're starting on is only a fraction of the amount deep of some of the other dig sites. So if you can go digger, that means the stuff you dig out will be better. So that means on the other dig sites, you know, you're going to get a lot more resources for your effort because they are deeper. So we'll go ahead and dump that in there. Grab our brush, brush it off. Look at that, we already got a little gold. We'll turn the water on, fill up water, and get another bucket. So that speeds up the process considerably compared to what we were doing before. And like I said, the first couple of days of this game is all about kind of getting an efficient setup so that you can get the most done in a day as you can before you go to sleep for the night. That's so much better than having to drop a bucket in there, right? And we're getting some really good nuggets out of this. So if we did this the entire day, we'd probably have a full bucket of gems and such by the time we go back up to the market. And I always bring my buckets back over here just because you know, if I have to make the trip to get the bucket anyway, might as well carry the bucket over there to put it back where we need to dig with it. And since this is my first video ever for YouTube, please leave any comments you have on things that I can do better, things you liked, things you didn't like. That way I can improve the videos and you know, make something better for you guys, because I want to enjoy playing the games, but I want you to enjoy watching the videos. And again, I do appreciate everybody that's spending time to watch this today. We got one more round of buckets here, and then we should be able to finish off all of our objectives by buying that new shovel. Alright, there we go. Oh yeah, look at that. So much gold, I can't even keep it in the bucket. That is the only downfall for leaving your stuff in there, is sometimes they will bounce out, but it's not usually too big of an issue. If you're selling pretty regular, you won't get too much stored up in there where it causes an issue. Get in there. Must be a good one in there. It didn't even want to be brushed. Oh yeah. We are rocking and rolling now. Just wait until we get that new shovel, and this takes half as much time to fill all these buckets up. We'll have quite the haul. You know, if you're asking me what you should buy first when you start out in this game, if you don't have to worry about the nights being dark and you can just work right through it, then you know you might not want to get the bed first. You may want to go ahead and get the water pipes first. The little small buckets are really cheap, so that helps out a lot. And the improved shovel. The improved shovel is important starting out like this, but having this water set up is so nice that you just about can't beat it, even with the shovel and everything else. So I would say buy the water pipes and a few extra buckets when you first start off. Alright, well that looks like enough to buy a bed with, so we're going to take this up here to buy a shovel with. So we're going to take it up here and see what it's worth. Alright, 150C. It's a pretty good haul for just 10 little buckets. About 15C a bucket, and they only cost $1, so that's pretty good return on your investment right there. I guess it'd be about 7C a bucket since we did 2 rounds, but you know, fuzzy math on the fly. It's kind of a thing. So there we go. We got 151, and our shovel is going to cost us 78. We'll go ahead and buy that, and voila, we have our shovel. We'll just walk this over here and then come back and get our bucket. We'll do run around with the improved shovel just to see how it goes with the faster digging. And then we'll call this a video. If you hold E, it'll hold items out like this, so that can kind of help you angle your bucket underneath the downspout like that. So we'll go ahead and put this bucket over here. Like this. Looks like our old shovel. We'll just kind of move it out of the way. And get our new fancy shovel. And here we go. Digging away. See, now it only takes 2 scoops per bucket, so that's going to make things quite a bit easier for us. Now, I haven't done enough research yet to figure out if the improved shovel gives you better results because it's digging bigger chunks of dirt, or if it just makes things faster. But that is quite a big chunk of iron for our very first bucket. I like that. Oh yeah, and look at this. Our very first gemstone. So you can see there it is an emerald, and it's uncut, so it's still in its raw form. But we'll be able to buy the grinding wheel and cut that thing up, and then we can turn it into jewelry. The uncut gems come in red, blue, and green. And they can vary in size, but that's a pretty good size gem. Normally they're the size of this little nugget over here on the ground. And the bigger they are, obviously, the more valuable they are. I keep missing our bucket. There we go. Alright, our last bucket with the improved shovel. And there you go, guys. What do you think of that haul with just one round of buckets with the improved shovel? Looks pretty good, right? Alright, well, I'm going to end this video here. I want to thank you very much for coming. We completed all of our objectives today. We bought a bed, we bought a water pipe, we bought some extra buckets, and we bought our improved shovel. I want to thank you for coming. I hope you come watch the rest of the series, and I will see you here in episode 2. Thank you very much.